It's official that the pound-for-pound king, Terence Bud Crawford, has agreed in principle to face off against the 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar, first ballot Hall of Famer, Saul Canelo Alvarez. So Canelo Alvarez has agreed. Terence Crawford, we knew he was going to agree. And they're working out the details to showcase their talents. Riyadh season, Cinco de Mayo weekend in May.
Hate me, but I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Hell of a fight.
Hate me, but I think it's a 50-50 fight. It's really, really hard for me to see Canelo losing to Crawford. But it's also, there's things that I can see that Crawford is so good at.
Yeah.
That it's like, I can't see him not being able to be sharp and do that round after round, man.
You know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and like.
The whispers have turned into a roar. It is official. Pound for pound King Terence, Bud Crawford, has agreed in principle to face off against the Mexican superstar Saul Canelo Alvarez. This isn't just a fight, it's a legacy-defining clash of titans that has the entire boxing world holding its breath. But as the excitement builds, so does the intense debate. Can Crawford, a welterweight legend, truly overcome the monumental size and power of Canelo, the undisputed king of the super middleweight division? The predictions are pouring in, and they paint a picture of a high-stakes gamble where greatness and disaster are separated by a razor-thin margin.
He could possibly do at this point to regain that status is to beat someone of note in another weight class and 54 is going to be enough for him. Him going up to fight and quote unquote, if it should happen, Canelo, I don't see that ending well. It's just too much and too far to go. But
the matchup is so compelling that even seasoned analysts are split down the middle. Edgar Berlanga, a rising star in his own right, captured the dilemma perfectly. While he believes Crawford's legendary skills could get the job done, he acknowledged the undeniable truth that hangs over this entire spectacle. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, it's his weight. This is the central conflict, the brutal equation that everyone is trying to solve. Does transcendent skill have a weight limit?
It is official that the pound-for-pound king, 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed world champion, and reigning WBA junior middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Terence Bud Crawford, future first ballot Hall of Famer, undefeated, 41 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 big wins by way of knockout, 37 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach, has agreed in principle. We knew he was going to agree to face off against the 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar, first ballot Hall of Famer, former undisputed super middleweight world champion, and reigning unified super middleweight world champion, Saul Canelo.
His name keeps coming up, and I know he's a lot smaller than you. Is that a fight that you would ever consider under any circumstance?
You know, I always say if it's a fight,
The chorus of warnings began almost immediately, with respected voices from across the sport cautioning Crawford against what they see as a bridge too far. Veteran trainer Andre Rozier was blunt, calling the leap in weight a dangerous and ill-advised move. He admits Crawford moving up to 154 pounds is realistic, but challenging the king at 168? I don't see that ending well, he warned. It's just too much and too far to go. This isn't just speculation, it's a warning grounded in the harsh physical realities of boxing. Weight classes exist for a reason, and the jump from welterweight to super middleweight is a chasm that few have ever successfully crossed against an elite reigning champion.
He wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better, no? Terence Crawford is a great fighter, he's a good fighter, but
willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford.
Fight.
Yeah.
If if he's willing to pay whatever I want, hands down.
That'll work. Yeah, so if
I mean,
yeah, you're in. So if the numbers were right with Crawford, you'll do it.
why not? Why not? I think Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy.
And they have a recent chilling cautionary tale to point to. The one-sided beating Canelo handed to Jermall Charlo. Charlo, an undisputed champion himself, tried to bridge that same weight gap and was completely dismantled. The difference in strength and power was evident from the opening bell. It was a brutal lesson in physics, and it serves as a blueprint for disaster for any smaller man daring to step into Canelo's world. This history is exactly why so many believe Crawford is walking into a trap, a fight where his sublime skills will eventually be crushed under the sheer weight and force of a bigger, stronger man.
I'm in, because you know I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So it's everybody wants to fight me. Everybody calling me out and everything, and you know, like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford. 2-3 weights class.
I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that. No disrespect him, but you know, sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford, fighter 147. Who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Crawford. But you know, you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not? It's possible.
And I can't go down anymore. But you know, like he say, you know, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because then everybody's gonna say it's too small, and then, you know.
If you think Crawford is biting off more than he can chew, hit that like button and let me know your prediction in the comments.
If Canelo gets through Jermell, and then you guys fight, that fight would be gigantic.
And it's crazy because, like, in the past interviews, I was like, man, Canelo too big, man. It's weight classes for a reason. I was like, nah. But in my mind, in my heart, I don't think nobody too big, you know, especially in a fight. I'm a fighter. But, like, I was thinking, like, man, it could happen. So you start really sitting down like, man, that fight maybe can happen. Okay, so now you start.
But what if Crawford isn't Charlo? What if he sees something no one else does? That's where the counter argument begins, and it's a compelling one. Keith Thurman, a former world champion and one of the sharpest minds in the sport, explained why a fighter with Crawford's genius might see vulnerabilities that others miss. He pointed out how Charlo, despite being outgunned, was able to use his defense to minimize damage against Canelo. Thurman believes a fighter with Crawford's adaptability and offensive creativity could exploit those same moments, combining solid defense with calculated, punishing aggression. He sees a path to victory that isn't about brute force, but about surgical precision.
But I'm faster, you know, so then you start doing the advantages. You know what I mean? But like, man, we right there.
Yeah.
We right there, you know what I mean? So I was like, man.
And it's not when Canelo fought Charlo, besides the knockdown, Charlo was able to protect himself very well against Canelo's onslaught. The only problem was, while protecting himself, there was no...
Not like he didn't go up and win.
And that brings us to the psychological war that's already underway. Canelo himself has opened the door to this fight, but his words carry a chilling air of dismissiveness. After previously rejecting the matchup, he's had a change of heart, but his reasoning is telling. When asked if he'd take the fight, his answer was simple: why not? He went on to call it an easy fight and easy money, a clear sign that he believes the weight difference gives him an insurmountable advantage. That kind of confidence can quickly curdle into overconfidence, and that's a deadly game to play against a master technician like Terence Crawford, who has built a career on punishing the slightest miscalculation.
Seeing what I saw, I believe Crawford saw the same thing. If Charlo can go so untouched by just being, once he got dropped, spider senses, boom, fully awakened, right? Boom. So now hands up, don't make no mistakes. So, that's how it is. We saw it in the Munguia fight. We saw it in the last fight. It's those little mistakes that end up having big consequences against Canelo.
Crawford is trash. Don't ever compare Crawford to Canelo again. Shout out young Triple G. He did his I felt he won. At least a draw. The judges, you weirdos, you guys suck at. And Crawford, you're not pound for pound. Suck it. You never fought nobody good. You fought Spence that had a car accident.
It could be trouble. But I would still say it would be a very interesting fight. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. And I'm wondering whether he could stay away. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. And that's where the problem lies.
What do you think a win like that would do for Crawford? Would that put him
I think it was
Robinson, Mayweather?
He and I spoke about it.
Crawford, for his part, is fully aware of the physical disadvantage, but remains supremely confident in his own abilities. He bigger than me, but I'm faster, he stated simply, boiling the entire fight down to its core dynamic. This isn't just trash talk, it's the unshakable belief of an undefeated, undisputed champion who has never faced a puzzle he couldn't solve. He's not just fighting for a title, he's fighting to prove that at the highest level, skill will always conquer size.
Canelo is a very powerful individual who can get exposed by a boxer because every shot he throws, he's trying to make it a power shot. But to me, can Crawford hurt him? I would pick Crawford to win if he can box and stay away. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. And if Canelo catches him, it could be trouble. But I would still say it would be a very interesting fight. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. And
Terence Crawford, yes, there is weight classes for a reason. Canelo is a lot bigger. Crawford has that, he also has a good size to him where he has that good size and he has that reach and he has that boxing IQ. That's the most important thing when it comes to a boxing game is the IQ. I think Crawford will hold his own very good in that fight. But I will lean a little bit more towards Canelo given the fact that he's more experienced and he's been in there with bigger guys.
Serious about fighting Canelo Alvarez?
Of course.
I know you're serious, but I've got to ask you for the people that are watching.
Of course.
Are you confident that that fight is a fight that you can win?
Well, I'm always confident that I can win any fight that I step foot in the ring. Canelo is a big, strong competitor. He's a great fighter. He's a future Hall of Famer. And that's what we in the game for, is to leave a legacy that will last.
This epic showdown has captured the imagination of the entire boxing world, creating a fascinating clash of modern-day legends. It's a classic battle of styles, Canelo's relentless power and precision versus Crawford's technical brilliance and strategic genius. As Stephen A. Smith broke it down, Crawford is the superior boxer, but if he can't hurt Canelo, he can't keep him off of him. And that's where the problem is. He believes Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anyone this powerful, and while his skills could pose a serious challenge, Canelo's physicality might ultimately be too much to handle.
It's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean?
we tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out. You know what I mean?
Terence Crawford, I think Crawford is looking at just the huge fight with Canelo, and if he doesn't get it, he might not even fight anymore. Because he's told me that before. But there's so many other fights out there too. We just take it fight by fight with Virgil.
Vendor's question, you get asked this all the time. I almost hate asking you, but if someone's willing to put up the $250 million,
I mean,
would you negotiate down?
No less than 200.
No less than 200.
Crawford, what will make sense? Like, there's a couple of names out there.
Benavides, but we know that's not gonna happen.
In the end, this fight is about more than just a belt. For Crawford, it's the ultimate test of his pound-for-pound status, a chance to achieve a level of greatness that would place him in the pantheon of all-time legends. For Canelo, it's another opportunity to add a legendary name to his already stellar resume and silence any lingering doubts about his own place in boxing history. The details are still being worked out, but one thing is clear: when these two modern-day titans finally step into the ring, the entire world will be watching. The question remains, will Crawford's technical brilliance be enough to overcome Canelo's raw power, or is the size difference simply too much for even a legend to handle?